how much do you make? It is a common question for people to ask, especially in South Korea where I live now. Even if you don't want to answer it, it is money that you earned because of your effort. 8 years ago, I couldn't claim ownership of my salary and I couldn't even be sure how much I was making per month. That's because I was an overseas worker for the North Korean government. After sharing my story, I hope you will join my mission to inform the world about ways the North Korean government exploits workers, it sends overseas, its human rights abuses against overseas workers, and that you will join me in encouraging governments and international organizations to pressure North Korea to change the way it treats overseas workers. Additionally, I would like to hear your thoughts about the dilemma I face when it comes to North Korea's overseas workers. In January 2014, I was living in Pyongyang, North Korea. I learned from a friend about the chance to work in Malta. I did not know anything about it, but then I learned that Malta is a European country close to Italy. Unless we are given permission based on loyalty or escape without permission, North Koreans are forced to live in North Korea until they die. I wanted to grab the chance to experience the bigger world. During the interview, the boss told me that if I did a good job in Malta, she could give me 500 euros a month, which is now about 540 US dollars. Since the average salary of a North Korean worker was less than $1 a month, it seemed that I would be a rich person very quickly. I also thought that if I went to Malta, I would be able to learn English quickly. With dreams of becoming rich and learning English, I left Pyongyang for Malta in October 2014. Then I was hit by reality. Working 11 hours a day to make clothes for luxury brands, my first payment was for 130 euros or about 142 US dollars. I realized that my boss had lied to me, but I couldn't protest. The boss would have forced me to return to North Korea. The Chinese, Vietnamese, and Maltese workers were paid individually by the factory owners, but the North Koreans were paid by their boss based in North Korea. The rest of my salary was taken by the North Korean government. I learned that North Korean workers sent abroad are treated like this. It wasn't just that the North Korean government cheated us out of money. Before leaving for Malta, told us the rules we had to follow. Number 1, do not talk to foreigners for more than 5 minutes. Leave the conversation necessary for work to an interpreter and avoid private conversations, even in the workplace or in the hostel. Number 2, never use a cell phone. Don't even look at your foreign colleagues' cell phones. Number 3, never go out by yourself. We could only go out in groups of 4. The guard told us that the US and South Korean intelligence agents would kidnap us if we were alone. The North Korean guards constantly tried to scare us about how dangerous foreigners were, that we should avoid being in contact with them, and that we had the duty to sacrifice everything for Kim Jong-un. I was brainwashed. I never thought I would waver. On my first day in Malta, my passport was taken away by a guard from North Korea. The guard told us they would safeguard our passports, but the reality is that they wanted to prevent us from escaping. Despite their attempts at brainwashing me, I began to waver. I was learning that people are born with rights such as the right to a passport, the right to watch and listen to your favorite movies and music, the right to access information through the internet, and the basic human right to control your own life. When I began to learn about freedom, I no longer had a reason to live as a North Korean. I decided to defect. If I had stayed in North Korea, then it would have been much more difficult for me to escape. I saw and heard and experienced even just a little freedom. That's why I have a dilemma about North Korea's overseas workers. On the one hand, North Koreans working abroad have the opportunity to see a different world. This is because no matter how much the North Korean government tries to brainwash and control people, the brainwashing will fail when North Koreans see and experience even a little freedom for themselves. On the other hand, much of what North Korean workers earn abroad goes to fund Kim Jong-un's regime and nuclear development. Would it be better to allow North Korean workers to work abroad, or would it be better to send them back? It isn't easy to resolve this dilemma, but we can start by doing our best to inform North Koreans so they can make the decision for themselves. When North Koreans get sent overseas, they dream, like I did, that we can make a lot of money, learn other languages and about other cultures, and can get to see a new world. Instead, we get cheated out of our salaries, have no right to complain, and are isolated by the North Korean regime. Thank you to Freedom Speakers International for supporting my mission to raise awareness about what happens to North Korean overseas workers. I hope you will also join my campaign so more North Koreans can experience freedom, and for those who work overseas to at least know how much they get paid and to have the right to engage with people around the world. Thank you.